am I supposed to do an intro for this one? Like, what even is a Black Shuck? Like, seriously, what am I supposed to do? Should we just do the darkness gang again? Oh, it's gone all dark. It's the darkness. Oh, see, there's no light. It's dark. No light, like the darkness. Hi guys, it's Paul from Crowborough Guitar Tuition, and today we are looking at I believe it's the opening track on the Darkness's album, Permission to Land, Black Shuck. If you know School of Rock, I think it's featured in that on the soundtrack. It's a great little song. All of the Darkness stuff on that first album in particular is great fun. It's very much in the kind of vein of, in my mind, kind of AC/DC, kind of old school rock thing going on. And so a lot of it actually is relatively simple. There's not a huge amount to this song. Which means that it's a lot of fun to play. So let's have a look at what we're doing. So when we're starting off, we're really, this main riff is based around power chords. We've got this E5 power chord. So we're really just playing an open E with our first finger at the 2nd fret on the A string there. We've also got an A5 power chord, so an open A with our finger on the 2nd fret on the D string. And then we've got a couple of other things thrown in there, a D5 kind of over A power chord. So we're doing we're using our 2nd finger, or I would use my 2nd finger at the 3rd fret on the B string, 1st finger at the 2nd fret on the G, and then we've got an open A and an open D below it. And then we've also got a G5 power chord. So if you think about your normal G chord, I play my G chords using my 3rd and 4th fingers over here. So basically it's just that normal chord, but we're taking out that 3rd there, so getting our 1st finger out of the way. So our 2nd finger is going to mute that A string, because it's going to touch it. And so when we go across the strings, we're going to get a G5 power chord. Okay? So we're starting off with a bend, which comes in just before the beginning of the bar, which is at the 3rd fret on the E string. So it's kind of about a half bend, half step. I use my 2nd finger because I'm going to drop back to my 1st finger for those power chords. So we've got this bend. So we'll look at the next section in a moment. All we're doing there is we're starting on that, after we've done that bend, we've got that E5 power chord. Up to the A. Back down to the E. Up to the D5 power chord. And then we're back to that E. So we're always coming back to that E power chord. So at the end there, what we've got is we go up to a B5 power chord. So we're going to put our 1st finger at the 2nd fret on the A, and 3rd finger at the 4th fret on the D. So we come out of that E, we've got up to that B, E to B. So we've got B to an open A, down to the 3rd fret on the E, and then to an open E. So once we've done that open E, we're going to that D5, and then to the A5 across 3 strings. And then we've got that G5 power chord just before the beginning of the bar. So it's kind of just pushed slightly before the beat. Okay, and we go back to that E at the end. So you've got... And we go back into this. Now, if you look at the tab, you'll see the rhythm of that section changes slightly a little bit after the drums kick in and stuff. So rather than this kind of... you've got more of a... So you're actually letting that power chord ring out a little bit longer. So hopefully you can hear that rhythm change in the song. So I'll do it again. You've got this. So that's the initial rhythm, and then you've got more of a. So I'm sure you can hear the difference there. Really, you're doing exactly the same stuff you're doing. You're just missing out one of the strums on that E chord there. The rest of it's saying pretty much the same, and you're really just following this same pattern of, or whatever you want to do there. So it's pretty simple. In terms of the verses, now the verses again are for me, I would just say they're quite loose. When you finish the riff, you want to land at the beginning of the verse on an A5 power chord, just on these two strings, the A and the D. And then a lot of it, really, I would say I'm quite free with it, is riffing off of an open A and just moving between the 7th fret on the D, 5th fret down to 3rd fret. Apart from that little bit you have at the end there. So to be honest, a lot of that section, like I say, is very free. I've never bothered to learn it all the specifics of it. I would just play my open A, so my A5 power chord, and then bouncing off that A string and just kind of getting 7, 5, 3 on the D. So you've just got that little section at the end there that goes like this. You've got the bend at the 3rd fret. So again, I'm using my 2nd finger here on the E string. Then we've got open A to 2nd fret and then down to 2nd fret on the E. So what we're doing there, we're going bend, open A to 2nd fret, down to 2nd fret on the E, and then we've got 3rd fret on the E, open A back to 3rd fret. And then in terms of what we're doing, then you'll see that there's a couple of sections in this bit that are more recognisable. You've got a section with these kind of A chords, A5 to kind of A7 sus kind of 4 thing going on, and then like a D minor over A. So you've got an A5 power chord there, across 3 strings, and a kind of A7 sus 4. So if you think about your A7 shape, you're moving that 3rd finger up. Sometimes I use my 2nd finger there, but so open A, 2nd fret on the D string with your 1st finger, open G, 3rd fret with your 3rd finger on the B string. And then we've got this kind of D minor over A type thing. So you've got a open A at the bottom, 3rd fret with your 2nd finger, 2nd fret with your 1st finger, 3rd fret with your 3rd finger, so over on the B string there. So then you've just got G, G5 power chord, and the D that we had from the riff. Again, it's all quite loose, I wouldn't worry about it too much. The only thing really to pick up then, to definitely you'll want to notice, is that as that verse goes through, sometimes the end of each kind of little section either finishes with this, or it finishes with the G to D. So I would recommend you have a listen to the song to see what it does each time. If it's just you, by yourself, playing as a guitarist in a band, you can probably get away with varying it how you want. If you're playing with another guitarist, you're going to be a little bit tighter about what you're doing there. In terms of the chorus is really just going back to our main riff. Again, so you can listen to that, the tabs are all there, it's all very, very similar. The only other section you've got is this kind of little section with a kind of spoken part over the top, which really is just all over that D5 over A power chord, which is simple enough to do. And there is a kind of, in the background somewhere, I don't think it's on the tab, there is an A, I think, just hanging in the background. Kind of up there as he's speaking, so I think I'd say 10th fret on the B string is where I would do it. In terms of the solo section, it's not really a proper solo in some ways, it's just a bit of a scrappy, I don't want to call it a scrappy mess, but it feels a little bit like a scrappy mess. All you're doing really is if you take think of a D7 shape, if you know your D7 shape, and we're moving it up so that the second finger here is actually on the 12th fret. So we've got 12th fret on the G, 11th fret on the B, 12th fret on the E. So I'm using fingers 2, 1 and 3 respectively there. Really what's going on there is he's just hitting that and sliding up 2 frets to the 14, well, to the, what is it, D7, isn't it? Just a whole octave up. Now, look in the tab, it's very scrappy. I wouldn't worry too much about being particularly accurate on that because, like I say, it's just pretty much, it's an attitude-driven part rather than anything else. So you do that, and then I think you're just back into another chorus, so you're back into those main riffs again, and so on and so forth. So you've really only got the main riff, which doubles up for your chorus. You've got your verse section, which is quite loose, with a couple of sections in there, so they're all on the tab and relatively easy to get your head around. Solo isn't really much of a solo to contend with, just a D7 shape slid around a little bit up here, and then you're pretty much at the end. All you've got to notice is at the end we finished hanging on that D5 before going over to just a normal open E power chord. Well, that's how the song ends. Once you hear the woof, bang on the E one more time. So you can just kind of strum away on that E for that big finish, you know, drums and bass, big finish, blah, blah, blah. So that's pretty much how to play Black Shuck. So grab your spandex, hitch it up nice and tight for all those high notes, otherwise you'll struggle. But yeah, it's a great riff, great fun to play, just got a really nice groove to it. So go away, learn it, enjoy it, and I'll see you next time for another video. Thanks very much. Hi guys, thanks for watching. For more guitar tips and video lessons, click on the subscribe button down below and let me know in the comments what songs or video lessons you'd like to see. If you want to keep up with some of our news, you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, or you can always check out our website, crowboroughguitartuition.com.